time to go for our main talking point this morning, and it is about the Air Force and the crash. COAS 10 others death. Air Force to decide on military jets after probe. Page 2, and here they sort of outlined, crashes and how many officers it's claimed in the past. So let's look at this.
Yeah, that was the biggest story in the country from Friday night, and I think still the biggest story in the country today, because of the way we react this morning when it begins to really hit home, that unfortunate, tragic accident of Friday evening. The president has late yesterday evening ordered that the flags fly at half-mast or public buildings for 3 days, and that the armed forces can take today off, those in the military can take today off. They're already engaged in assignments where they can't have off day. So that's just, I think, mere academic. I don't think soldiers in the war fronts, those ones really engaged.
For those in the war,
I think probably for those in the offices around areas where there's peace in administration, those are the ones that probably are used today to mourn the death of General Ibrahim Attahiru, Chief of Army Staff, Brigadier General Ike Kulia, the acting Chief of Military Intelligence, Brigadier General Olayinka, the acting Provost of the Nigerian Army, General Tahiru's Chief of Staff, another Brigadier General Abdul Kadi. There was Major Hamza, who we hear is the ADC to the General Tahiru. There was Major Umar, the finance officer, to the Chief of Army Staff, and then there was Sergeant Umar, the orderly, to General Tahiru, and then there were others, the flight crew, Flight Lieutenant T.O. Olani, Flight Lieutenant Alfred Olu Fade, Sergeant Additional, and then the air mechanic as ACM Oyedeko. 11 of them, were killed tragically in that plane crash, and it was a moment of national grief. In one fell swoop, it's a long time since we had this kind of thing happen in this country. But for the Air Force, this is one crash too many. Just in February, this same series of Super Air King 350 went down in Abuja. All 7 on board were killed. In fact, what we have is that in the last 5 to 6 years, about 11 crashes have taken place, military aircraft, and have killed over 33 military officers. So maybe it's time for introspection for the Air Force. I heard the interview with Air Commodore Edward Gabwe, the spokesman for the Air Force, saying it might be too hasty to say, for instance, the A350, the Beechcraft A350, ground them. There are 4 of them on the fleet. 2 of them have now gone down in quick succession. So the remaining 2 are treating. I will not enter any of them. But he's saying it's too hasty. That we'll wait for investigations. Of course, we'll have to wait for outcome of the investigations. The AIB has taken over now, and the Air Force, they are working on that. The black box have been recovered. The flight data recorder have also been recovered. So I think investigations have already begun immediately. But we'll look at the outcome. The immediate aftermath of that crash. And you say that maybe as a country, our leadership did not respond the way you'd expect. On Saturday when the burial took place for this 11, some of them in the church, some of them at the National Military, after the mosque, and then the National Military Cemetery in Abuja. Only some very few top government functionaries were there. And then you ask, for instance, where is the Commander-in-Chief? Maybe the Commander-in-Chief has a trend. Since President Buhari became head of state, this 2015, he probably hasn't attended maybe one funeral. He doesn't attend public events like that. He did not attend the burial of his chief of staff, I can't remember. So there were criticisms that how can the president not attend, not even the vice president. Of course, there were claims like it took 48 hours to plan, the president's security protocol for an event like this and all that. I don't agree. Because I've seen heads of state former heads of state elsewhere. I've seen Russian President Vladimir Putin attend military funerals on the day it happened, in heavy rain and bad weather in this country. That's how to pay homage to people who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. That's how to share in their grief. But in Nigeria on that day, not the president, not the vice president, no show. And then the few governors attended. I respect them, Governor El-Rufai, and they all attended the funeral at the mosque.
Broke down.
El-Rufai really broke down. And I think it's more emotion than some people say it was crocodile. And I worry for them. Maybe you don't understand what grief is.
Exactly.
Especially because two of army staff at IU is from Kaduna, the same state with Governor El-Rufai. And on that day, two things happened in this country that I thought that shouldn't have happened. Or even if they are built to happen, you can't change them. They have to be low-key. Yeah, it's the way you share grief. It's the way you pay remorse when things have happened. The Attorney General of the Federation, his son had the wedding. The ministers attended, the governors attended. They were laughing and taking pictures. Those kind of events, the bad optics, they should never have happened. Even because you can't change the wedding date. You make it low-key and you close it from the optics. And then Governor Wike in Port Harcourt was doing political rally.
Oh, wow.
It's a big question on our national psyche. Somebody says, Wike, your president. And I ask, he's not an elected governor. It's your army staff not fighting the war to also make Wike survive as a governor in this country. Do you not die in national service, wearing boots
protecting
on,
everybody.
bootstraps on? I mean, how do we grieve when things happen? I really don't understand. In 2006, President Obasanjo was in Singapore for an IMF meeting, on debt relief. He had just arrived in Singapore when a plane fell in the Obudu Mountains and killed 10 generals. 8 major generals on that flight. Obasanjo abandoned everything. He didn't attend the burial because it was late. Singapore is not Ibadan. Before he arrived here, but that is how to share a national grief. That is how to share in those bad moments. He returned immediately. A lot might not like Obasanjo, but that's how to lead. He returned from Singapore, and of course, he came and announced the flag at half past and all of those things. But the fact that he abandoned everything and came back showed that he understood the intensity and the priority of the moment. It didn't happen with this. And then yesterday night, we see how everybody have been hurrying. Aisha Buhari hurriedly went to the home of all those afterthoughts, as they say in English. Afterthought. We hurried to the home of the Atahiru's wife, the VP's wife. Office also released pictures of the vice president's wife. They can do all that, but it's afterthought. And then the president eventually said yesterday he has spoken with speak, why not visit? A lot of this, what I'm saying is because abroad, I've seen how this happens. I mean, I don't think Joe Biden, if the United States was reversed, we'll do telephone call. I know that the United States, for instance, have 25 cemeteries abroad, 25 military cemeteries and memorials and monuments abroad. Each year, they pay respect to those monuments. Sometimes their president travel to Germany, to France, and to those graveyards of American soldiers fallen in wars long before they were born, and pay respect to their dead, to American military dead at those cemeteries. That is how to share national grief. But we're learning in this country.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more, leave a comment, and like. Thank you.